and that's pretty rare to see the same
Mhm.
speaker at all those 4 shows. And so I think that I had to get there first, and then they start seeing me pop up all over the place that it's like, "Oh, maybe we should start paying a little bit more attention. Maybe we will reach out for her help." Like, people that I've known
Oh,
since
right.
Snap Retail years wouldn't barely even say hi to me at
Mhm.
networking events, and now are saying hi and asking for help, and, I don't know why it's taken them so long
Mhm.
or exactly what that is, but if I were to guess, I just think that they're feeling more secure because they're seeing me on a lot more stages and out there a lot more.
And you kind of went within
Yep.
and that really is what catapulted it.
Hands
I love that.
down. Yeah. I struggled for many years. Like, I'm very open about this and even with my team. And I mean, there was a solid like 4 to 5 years that I really struggled in my business of like wondering, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right track? Am I meant to do this? Do I suck? Am I good? Like, I wanted to hide. It almost felt like depression. And one of
Mhm.
my employees, who I'm very close with, Pauline, my COO, was like, I wonder if you are depressed and I feel like you
Mhm.
should get therapy. And she was really supportive. And I finally did get therapy. And a big part of that was burnout. Like, I was
Yes.
wildly burned out.
Mhm.
And I had no idea. And burnout actually can look like depression. And so I was really grateful to find the type of therapy I needed and to find a good therapist to heal some of that.
Mhm.
So I could really show up as a leader to my team and show up more on stages and for our retailers. So it was quite a process, though, I tell you what.
But, the vulnerability
Mhm.
shows your authenticity, and that just attracts more because you're being real
Yeah.
versus, "Oh, no, it's all just fine. This just happened overnight."
Yeah.
Because outwardly, I call it the Facebook syndrome, the white picket fence
Mm,
syndrome. Outwardly, no one would ever know that we've got all of our stuff together,
right.
right? But you don't know what's under that iceberg to make it look like that, what you had to go through to get there.
Oh, yeah. No one would have a clue.
And we were just talking before we came on air, and I said we should have been
Yeah.
recording that, but we were talking about, imposter syndrome and how all of us, I'm sure all of us entrepreneurs feel that way at some point, and I know you had shared the same.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what was it? Was that part of the journey that helped you get past that too, and then grow from that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like imposter syndrome comes up.
Welcome to the Fashionista Life podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Johnson. If you find yourself here, it may mean that you're looking for courage, clarity, or confidence in some part of your life. I interview experts in business each week and share strategies for success, motivation, and mindset. If you want to learn more about the Fashionista Life and how I can help you grow your business as an extension of yourself and help transform you into a confident entrepreneur, check out my website, thefashionistalife.com, or join my private Facebook group at Clear Confident Female Entrepreneur. Now let's get started. Today we welcome back into the studio Crystal Vilkaitis, and she's the owner of Crystal Media. And her company, they're social media experts. They know what they're doing. And Crystal is a powerful speaker. She has graced the stages with the likes of Martha Stewart and Gary Vaynerchuk and Bethany Frankel and Brendon Burchard and so many others. And you're just a powerhouse. I think I said that the last time you were on our podcast a while back, and we were talking about you getting started in your business and challenges and that kind of thing. But you're a powerhouse, girl.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. And like I said, I feel the exact same way about you. I mean, we are just doing some cool stuff and we are busy business ladies. That's for
We
sure.
are. We are. And I am super proud of the fact that you wanted to create like masterminds or conferences and you just did it. You did it. Did you do it? This is going to be your third one, right? Because the one
No.
was no?
This year, so April 2023 was my first conference.
What you did something online though over COVID. Did we not? No?
We yeah, we did, we had like a virtual summit. Yeah. So and that was kind of a catalyst sort of into the in-person conference. So that's right. We had a conference and virtual summit January of 2022. Then we went in person April of 2023.
It's just awesome. What was the why behind you wanting to start conferences like
Mm.
this?
It has been a dream of mine for so many years. So I started this company in 2012, but even before that, I have been on a lot of stages speaking and I've been to a lot of conferences. And I always sit there as an attendee and listen to the other speakers and see the whole like structure of these conferences. And I just always have these visions in my head of my own conference and what I would do and how what kind of topics would I have and speakers would I have and what's the feeling of this event. And I just wanted to create my own experience. Like I just can't even explain it. It was just this pull to create my own in-person experience.
Did you have any idea going into it what you'd put into there, or by listening to other conferences going, "Oh, no, I know I wouldn't do this." Were you taking notes the whole time?
I feel like I've been taking notes for years, just really like, not really writing anything down, but just knowing what was really transformational for me as an attendee and what speakers really resonated, what content really worked, and then also just having this vision of how I wanted mine to create. So there's a beautiful, like, blend of what I've seen and what I haven't seen come to life.
Wow. Well, you have an idea and you just went with it, and
Mhm.
it's awesome, and your first one was a success.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part of creating it? Now, I know it's taken you years to get to this point, but,
Yeah.
what was the hardest part, mentally, first of all, and then physically?
Mm. Jennifer, it was the hardest I've ever worked. Like, I've had this company for 11 years now. I've never worked so much in my life. It was an emotional roller coaster. Like, one day I am on top of the world. This agenda is epic. Oh my gosh, people are gonna love it. Things are moving. We have sponsors. We're doing great. And then the next day, I'm like, tickets aren't selling like I thought they would. I mean, so many people said 40% of ticket sales for an in person conference happen within 2 months of the event.
Mhm,
So leading up, we were selling pretty decently and we were at about 100. My goal was 200. The team was like, if we have 100, that's an epic win for our first year. Like, but I'm always thinking bigger over here.
right.
And so I was really looking at 200 and we were around that 100 mark approaching the 2 months out. And so I'm like, okay, well, we're going to do great because people are going to be buying all these tickets. And we only sold like another 10 in those 2 months. And
Mhm,
I was like, oh my gosh, I took it. I would say the hardest thing probably mentally is I took it really personal. Like I almost felt like I'm throwing this epic party. I'm spending over $100,000 on this event, which I've never spent that kind of money
mhm,
before on any kind of marketing or advertising. And people don't want to come. Like I just felt like, please trust me. I know I'm creating this
mhm.
amazing thing and they aren't trusting me and they're not showing up. And I really had to change. I had to do a lot of work on my mindset for that one.
So that I have a question about that.
Yeah.
How do you, because I know as a business owner, we've created these businesses.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to
Yeah.
not take whatever I mean, there are still times that I do.
Mhm.
And how did you work through that? How did you separate, or
Mm.
how do you? Now, I know it's probably a work in progress, but how did you do that? Any tips?
Yeah, I mean, I had to say to myself, really what helped me the most was flipping the script of why aren't people buying tickets? It's me and that kind of mentality and taking that personal. Two, over 100 people bought tickets. Holy guacamole. Like,
Mhm,
this is incredible that my very first conference, over 100 people have trusted me. They're traveling, and I am going to deliver the most epic event for these 100 people. And when I started to think that way, really gratitude
mhm.
and just flipping that script versus the abundance versus lack,
Yep.
right? I felt really excited. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine as I was driving to the airport, and she's like, even if there were 20 people, would you still deliver a great show for them? And I was like, absolutely. Like I would bring it. And she's like, okay, so can we just say like you're doing this, you're going to bring it. It's amazing that there's 100 people. And think of everything. It's like you're getting paid to go to school.
Mhm.
People bought tickets, you're gonna go to school to learn how to do the conference, and I learned so much through that process. And then you're gonna do it all over again, and then it's year 2, and there's a good chance more people come, you're gonna see all this content,
Right.
create the FOMO, people
Mhm.
didn't go, and now they're gonna wanna come, and I've gotta tell you that so happened because I did my show in April, and then I've been on this, like, speaking tour this summer, and a lot of retailers have come up and said, "I didn't wanna go to the first one. I wanted to see how it went." Oh,
Oh, of
uh-huh.
course.
Like, I'm on the sidelines watching, like, "How did she do?" And then so many of them said, "It looked amazing. I have friends who went. They can't stop raving about it. I already bought my ticket for next year." And so I was like, "Okay, it's pretty incredible that, I'm just grateful I was able to think that way. There's
Mhm.
100 people, this is incredible. I'm going to deliver it, and we're gonna show people what's possible, and hopefully they join me next year too. But, yeah, the whole, like, taking it personal thing, I think you constantly kinda have to work on.
It's definitely a really hard thing to get
Mhm.
past, and we're gonna talk about your fabulous lineup. I can't wait for you to tell our listeners who is going to be at this conference because I think you're gonna have seats for 300,
Yeah, well,
honestly.
I will tell you, Jennifer,
You're
our
probably going for
room
4.
well, look, I can be a little, big goal, big thinker. Our room will see 1,000. Now it's okay. Like if it does, if we won't fill that. I doubt, but if we did, wow, that would be incredible. Would I absolutely love to see 500 people at this conference? Yes, I would. Would I be incredibly happy if we doubled last year? Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're gonna announce it here in a couple minutes. I can't wait to have that discussion. Is your closet overflowing? Or maybe your kids' closets are as well. Or maybe you just want to redecorate your house. If you're wondering what to do with all that stuff that you've accumulated, bring it all to True Fashionistas or even ship it to them for free and they'll sell your unwanted items for you. They take away all the hassle by doing all the work, and all you have to do is sit back and collect your money. You can reach out to them online at truefashionistas.com. Come into the store or check them out on Facebook or Instagram, and that's truefashionistas.com. All right, friends, we are back into the studio with Crystal Vilkaitis, Crystal Media, and we're talking about her Evolve conference that is coming up. And okay, drum roll. I wish I had a drum roll.
I
Okay,
know.
this is pretty epic. Talk about epic. Tell our listeners who your keynotes, right, are going to be.
Okay. I am like, "Is life real? How do I have
Pinch
these
you.
2 people coming to my conference for year 2?" I am so thrilled to announce that we have 2 keynote speakers, one being Jen Gottlieb, who is one of the top motivational speakers in the world. If you have not heard of Jen Gottlieb, go to her Instagram. You'll see a lot of her on stage and what she teaches. I'm in her mastermind. She has transformed me, and she has a way of delivering messages that, like, really put that fire in your soul, allow it, like, lets you really believe in yourself, have the courage to be seen, put yourself out there, and grow and build your business and build yourself. And she has just, like I said, transformed me, my business. I love her. She's dynamite energy, and I can't wait to have her on the stage. Then we have Donald Miller with Story Brand and how to build your small business and flight school. He has been, I call him my business crush. Like for the past 6-ish years, I think is when I got into the Don Miller world and I read his book Story Brand when I was on a
Mhm.
vacation in Italy. And I was like, this book is so good. Like, I just love the way that Don teaches because he simplifies it.
He
Like,
does.
I think he's got a podcast, Business Made Simple, and
Mhm.
that is exactly what he does. So I loved how I just feel like that's an art to be able to teach business and help people see results fast and teach it simply. And so I reached out to his team and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to, like, there's just no way. But there's a huge learning lesson here. You have to ask
Mhm.
because if you do not ask, then of course they're not gonna be on your stage. And if I'm like, "There's no way that I can have Jen and Dawn on my stage," and I just hold back, like, they wouldn't be showing, and then I'm holding them back from my attendees who it's gonna change their life.
Right.
Like, I am confident that these 2 people will change our attendees' lives and business. So, Dawn's gonna be talking about the 6 elements that every small business needs to succeed. And then Jen's going to be talking about being seen. She's got a new book that's coming out and really personal branding, putting yourself out there and building your awareness.
That is so awesome. And I'm coming. I'm
Yeah.
coming. I'm
Yes.
gonna get my ticket and I'm coming. I cannot wait. I
Yay.
wouldn't you know, I just this is so awesome for you. What a
Mhm.
dream to go from, how am I gonna do this and actually doing now look at you.
I know. Well, you know what? Somebody gave me the best advice years ago because I said, "Oh, it's just my dream to have a conference." And they were like, "Pick a date and a venue. That's it. That's
Mhm.
how you start. You get the date and the venue, and every now you have deadlines. You fill it all in. Okay, who's going to speak? What's the
Right.
agenda? Are we having sponsors? How are we selling tickets? And you just make it happen. So pick the date, pick the
Right.
venue. That's it.
And I know somebody, and I don't remember who it was, but they said, "Start before you're ready."
Yes, always.
And so true. Like,
It's so
pick your
true.
date, like you
Yeah.
said.
Oh, yeah, because I all the things I learned along the way, I would have never known that I had to do all those things. I only learned that I had to do all those things through hosting this event.
Right.
Like just like anything, people wait to do podcasts because they feel like, well, I don't know the tech, I don't have the gear, I don't know how I'm going to edit it and how I'm going to upload it. Well, you figure it out. But
Right.
you have to start somewhere.
Mhm.
And we're never ready. We're never ready. You do
Right.
just have to get started.
And, talking about getting started, what advice would you give to other people who are, in their industry who've always thought about creating a conference?
Mm. Well, it's pick your date and venue. And I think it's really important for you to create your unique experience. Like, we all have our unique abilities and like what makes us special, what makes us us. And I see too often people trying to be like other people,
Mhm.
or we will kind of measure success against other people, or we'll see what is she doing and what is she doing, and we can totally brainstorm and research and get ideas that way. But like we said on the previous episode I was on, really looking from within and getting clear on what it is you want. What is the experience you want to provide? Not what everybody else is providing. Like, where do you see you? How are your attendees? Like, what are they walking away with? How are they feeling? And I really like to start with the end in mind. So, like when a retailer or a small business leaves my conference, what are they saying? What when they go home, what are they saying? Usually it's pretty much all women
Mhm.
that I work with. So they're like going home to their husbands and they're like, this is this was epic. This was life changing. I feel like I have a path. I feel like I have clarity. I feel so inspired. I believe in myself. Like I just really try to think of that. What is she saying after she leaves this event? And how can I make this event really authentic to me? And then pick your date and venue.
That's great. It sounds easy.
Right.
It
Yeah,
sounds easy, but it's a lot of work, and
it is.
there's a lot of hold that mirror up and what do you see, right?
Exactly.
That
Yes.
self-reflection is what's gonna really move the needle like we talked about, for
Yes,
sure.
and one thing I have to add this because I
Yeah.
so appreciate this, and a lot of people said this in our feedback forms. I am a stickler to staying on the agenda and staying on time. Like, when I tell you you're gonna have a break at 10:15 and 2 o'clock, that break better happen. And
Mhm.
if anybody's ever been at a conference and you're looking at your watch, you're like,
Yeah.
"We're supposed to be at lunch right now. We're supposed to be at the break," and
Mhm.
you tune out. You can't pay attention anymore. So, a lot of conferences don't stay on time, and we, to the minute, were on time for every session, and a lot of people gave us feedback saying how much they appreciated that. So if you're gonna do your own event, stay on time.
That's very important. It
Yeah,
really is.
yeah.
Now, you're writing a book. You're writing a book too. Tell me about that.
Oh,
What's your why? Do you have a name for it?
Well, I do, but we'll see if the name stays because as I'm learning, and I think you know this too, with the book writing process, a lot changes. And
Mhm.
so well, here's one thing that's really cool. Next week, I'm going to Nashville to a writer's workshop with Donald Miller.
Oh, no
So
way. Oh my
yes,
gosh.
at his home.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
I know.
Do you have
So
room in your suitcase?
I know I'm packing you.
I'm really short.
I
I'm
know, yeah,
fulled up.
great. Great. They'll never know, they'll never know. And so it's really cool, actually, I had this whole vision that I could release my book at Evolve, and Don is a speaker, and he helped me, like, get this book going at his writer's workshop, but also what I'm learning is it takes a while. I'm not gonna have this book
Mhm.
done by April of 2024. My why is actually at Evolve this year, I I kinda closed with what if we focused on being 15-mile famous? A lot of the retailers we work with are
Mhm.
brick and mortar retailers. And I also had like insurance agents, a photographer, a web guy in the audience. So it wasn't just retailer. There were also some small businesses there that got so much out of this content. So if you have a local business, if you focused on being 15-mile famous and everybody in a 15-mile radius knows what you sell, knows you by name, knows your business, knows exactly how to refer you and
Mhm.
say what you do, could that grow your business? And there's a good chance that you could see significant growth by just focusing locally. And for so many years, I've been telling retailers, they're like, I think I need to launch an e-commerce website. I think I need to
Mm.
go e-com. And especially after COVID, and that was a time and place to do it for sure, because when your doors are shut, but you still
Yeah.
have products to sell, like e-com makes all the sense. But but having an e-commerce platform is almost like having a second location. Like, you really have to give the resources to it. You have to market it. Just because you
Yeah.
have an e-commerce platform doesn't mean floods of traffic now come to you. So, I always would say to retailers, like, if you don't have the time to open a second location online, could you do more locally? Are you doing enough locally?
Mhm.
And every single time, everybody said no. And people really resonated with the 15-mile famous at Evolve. I could see in the audience. And a retailer came up to me a couple months later at another conference. She's like, you know what my number one takeaway was? 15-mile famous. We talk about this in every weekly staff meeting. We're now doing ads at the movie theater, like, because it made them think differently. And
Mhm.
when we think differently, we get different answers versus always doing the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of competition, and there's a lot of big box competition and a lot of noise online. And I just think there's this like hidden kind of gem of just focus, actually really getting focused. And when people zig and they go more big nationwide, we
Mhm.
zag and focus more. So that was really the why. And the name of the book is 15-Mile Famous, from Best Kept Secret to Local Celebrity. But we'll
That's
see if
the
it
name of
stays.
the book now. Right? That's
Exactly.
how it works, yes.
Exactly. Yes. We'll
That
see.
is so you know what? The reason why I think that resonates with so many people, it's tangible,
Mm.
okay?
Yep.
15 miles. I can picture it in my head. That's from here to here. I know exactly. It's it's taking a bite of an elephant one bite at a time, whatever
Exactly.
that saying is. It's that whole like, okay, I got that. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand it.
It's a lot more manageable than, like, if I'm gonna launch an e-com and then I don't even know the first thing about marketing to a national audience, and then you tend to have a much larger budget,
Mhm.
and we work with small businesses. My businesses don't have a big box budget.
Mhm.
So we have to reframe and look at things that are more tangible, that we can visualize and really go after those.
I love it. You are
Yeah,
doing such great things. Excited for your conference, excited for your book eventually to come out,
me too.
and just excited for you because what great steps you're taking.
Oh, well, thank you,
Mm.
Jennifer. And it's people like you. I mean, we love working with you and our small businesses that we just get to be a part of their
Mhm.
business and learn what they need and find ways to support. And I love working with small businesses, which I'm sure you do too. And I just, again, it's like, is this life? I get to do this. Like, I really feel honored. And so thank you for being a part of our world. And I'm excited to see you in the room at Evolve.
I'll be there. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for being a guest on my show again. You light up the screen.
Oh, thanks.
If our listeners would love to get a hold of you, how do they do so?
So crystalmediaco.com. You can learn all about our site, our business there. And if you click on products, you'll see Evolve. So if you really want to learn about that conference, if you have a small business, you want to be inspired, you want to transform your business and really stay relevant to what's working today, then this is a place for you to go. I'd love to see you in the room as well. And then connect with me personally on Instagram, Crystal Vilkaitis. Would love to hear from you. DM me if there was a highlight from the show. Like I would love to just chat with you and just type Crystal and then VILK, and then you'll see me and my cute French bulldog because my last name's tough. So
Awesome. Thank you so much again. And thank you to all my friends that have joined me here and every week here in the Fashionista Life, brought to you by True Fashionistas. If you want a deeper dive, head to my website, thefashionistalife.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletters. You'll get a deeper dive into a new topic each week. Have a fabulous day.